shit go hard though. Go ahead.
Yo, 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 you there? Is White Phoenix in the building yet? Has he arrived?
He's pulling in right now, man.
Nice. Nice, nice,
He'll
nice.
be here shortly.
All right, guys, this is take two. Let me just. Oh, there he is. I see him. I see a wild Phoenix. Get your ass up here, you Canadian bird, you.
He can right click and join the stage.
Yeah, I
You
right
don't
clicked
have to
for
invite
him.
him.
Nope, I invited him. Put the pressure on. Here.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah, man.
I'm just getting in the house right now, so
That's fine, bro.
give me 2 seconds.
You are fine, man. What is it? White Phoenix. Phoenix is such a weirdly spelt word. And Journey.
I know it's funny. A little before we start. Listen, I actually it's kind of like a blooper on my behalf, but for the first like 2.5 years of being in this server, for the first 2.5 years, I had it spelled totally incorrectly, and no one noticed.
Feonix.
No, I had it PHEO instead of OE.
Yeah.
And no one said a word to me, and then I don't know. I just thought it was, and I noticed it one day. I was like, no way.
I thought
We just all assumed.
Yeah,
we just all assumed that you were illiterate.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, you're a Canadian, so it made sense. It made sense.
We gave you a pass.
Phoenix. It would have been bad. Thankfully, you kept the PH. If you would have done F, that would have been
pretty bad on my behalf. Yeah.
You doing all right?
Yeah.
All right, Thor's gonna lead this up, man.
Yeah, apparently silver is the new Bitcoin. So
Why it's dumping?
Which is wild, dude. That's crazy to me.
Look at silver lately.
What?
I know.
Silver and gold lost like 1.2 trillion in market cap today.
Bro, just go on the XAG chart and just entertain me for a minute before we talk about Bitcoin crap.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try and make this quick, man, because I really don't have all my.
First, and I'll just do.
Yeah, go to the silver chart real quick. We want to see the silver chart. Silver.
One sec.
Silver. Bro, today was fun. What? No.
I thought you said White Phoenix wanted to show silver.
No, you were hopping on. He's not even on his computer yet.
You want me to wait for him?
No, I was gonna say hop on yours and just put AGX in the ticker. That's silver.
AGX.
Yeah.
All right.
And you're not sharing your screen anymore.
So. Isn't it XAG?
Or XAG, something like that. Just put silver and it should pop up. Whatever it is. But yeah, supposedly silver and gold lost like 1 point something trillion in market cap today. So let me see. I can get the actual number.
XAG USD.
You're not showing your chart.
Yeah, no, 1 sec.
Okay.
It's already almost rebounded fully. Anyway, silver did. So it's like $7 away from the all-time high.
What ticker do you want?
I would use the there's one called FXCM XAG USD. That's a better one in my opinion. Anybody want some Huskies? Free of the taking?
Yeah, I'm down.
No Huskies.
I want a Husky. Let me see. Or maybe it was an old post. I don't know. Maybe I lied. No. Is that today?
I got XAG USD.
I don't. Are you guys screen sharing?
No, he's not. I've said it 3 times. Yeah, gold and silver erased 1.7 trillion in market cap within 90 minutes today. The reversal was larger than Visa and JP Morgan Chase combined.
Go ahead and share White Phoenix. It's fine.
I don't think he's on his computer yet. Yeah, are you?
I am now.
Okay.
Yeah, now I am. Okay.
I hope the sell-off continues in Bitcoin into Bitcoin. Well,
Look at this. Here's the thing, though. Like, it's already almost rebounded the
pretty
whole dump.
interesting place we're at right now with Bitcoin too. So
And
Here, look
very
at the dump.
interesting place we're at
it
right now.
filled the weekend gap, no? That's all it did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, but it dumped 13.7% in like 8 hours, and it's already recovered most of it. So it's already back. I mean, it's hard to measure this way because it gives you a different number, but well, 9%. Yeah, but it's trading like a meme coin. Like, look at the low time frames. Like, look at this.
That's crazy, dude.
Silver and gold's the new meme coins. Here, let's turn on daily open. Daily open right here, right? Asia open was where? Right over here. So watch this though. In the last 31 minutes, it's up 6%.
It's wild.
What? That's like
It's
memes,
a new Bitcoin meme coin.
Why am I trading
Shit
Bitcoin?
coins.
What? Bro, ain't no way. Like, that's it. Like, if this continues, I'm hopping over and I'm taking advantage. Now I know why Jay is taking silver trades. I didn't know what he was doing taking silver trades. I was like, what the hell? That makes a lot of sense.
Where's he trading silver off of? KSAX? Do they have a silver pair?
I think you can trade. Bro, this is the monthly chart. Look how parabolic it is.
That looks so bad though, man.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's going to come back, but I think it's going to do this. I'm looking at like a $400 ounce of silver, I think.
Oh, that would be great.
I think so. But here's the problem. Like, copper going up as well. So if you're trying to like build homes and do wiring and stuff, you're going to pay the price, you know?
Yeah.
So copper's up like, and so is cobalt. Cobalt has been going up like crazy as well. I don't know the proper ticker for it, but look at this. This is cobalt on the monthly chart. You can see it's like, what's that up in the matter of like, what? March of last year, it's up 160%. So yeah, I think we're seeing like a supply. Well, there has been a supply shock, but I think it's like really noticeable now. People are starting to catch on to it, and now it's all FOMO. You know how
It's
it
all
goes.
FOMO and jumping in, man. People will move money into whatever's hot.
Yeah.
As long as they can just eke out a profit.
The hell do I got going on here? So yeah, Bitcoin has been in a literal triangle all day long, like different versions of a triangle. Oh, I'm on bar replay. What the hell? Different like this triangle, this rising wedge formation, or actually you can draw it as a channel as well. I wouldn't even draw that as a range. I thought about drawing it as a range, but I'm like, you know what? Like, what are other people looking at? Well, they're looking at this, bro. Like earlier today, like I posted like this trend line. I was like, okay, guys, like clearly this is like a retail trend line. They deviated above it, right? Just like a range. Like it is a range as well, depending on how you draw ranges. Here's a range. You know, you popped above the range, and then you came up, you smacked off it, come down into the golden pocket, come back up into supply, you smack down again. And now I expect it's more than likely maybe going to fill some of that wick and come down. And it's probably going to crunch into this until we either do that or this, one or the other. And I don't know what's going to be. I have no idea. I'm personally preferring up because there's easy liquidity up.
I prefer up to fill the CME gap and wipe out weekend shorts. Take it all the way back up to 90, like 90.2.
You know, I wouldn't even draw that like that now. I just draw it as a regular parallel channel. So there's a bigger, as you can see, red dotted lines, there's like two different triangles, right? So they share the same low. Yes, I'm watching them because if I see market structure flips on a pattern high and I like what I see, I'm taking the trade. I'm taking it to the other side of the triangle. I'm not trading it based on reactions like an actual pattern trader. I'm taking it based on what I see. You guys know that. I told you it 100 times. But yeah, I already got a few scalps off this today. I got one here. I got one right here. And I got one right here. I missed the last one though, and I missed the golden pocket move right here. That was a nice golden pocket move into demand. I missed that. I actually thought it was going to go a little bit lower. I thought it was going to go into the actual 5-minute OB and the low, but it didn't. It didn't hit it. Just kind of looking for a back.
Wide open.
Yeah, I left it wide. Well, look at that GP bounce.
That was range low too. 88, like 87.3, 87.4. I was looking for that too. WP.
You know, right off the old. That's why I made a poster that was like the golden pocket traders took advantage today, because that wasn't really an area that I would have longed anyway, because it's not really a good order block. There was a tiny like 1 minute block or something foolish in there, but I wanted the better one down here, right? I still think we might get it, which is why I have this drawn still. I'll delete the golden pocket now because it's useless. But long story short, I'm kind of looking for shorts up here. I mean, obviously, we're at the high of the range. Not only is it the high of the range, it's the high of the triangle. We already just mitigated the order block that I had in here. But I think we could wick it again. If I see another move like this, failure of structure, very clearly unable to hold above, and especially if volume is decreasing on the move, and you can check it without exo charts, right? You can see very clearly. Where's my volume indicator at? I don't have it up. Volume. If I can learn to spell, that'd be nice, you know? Volume. Whoa. All right. That just turned it turned everything on at once. Yeah. Okay, let me turn some stuff off here. Turn VWAP off. I don't really need any. Yeah, I'll leave this one on. I'll leave volume on. That's all we need. So here's your daily open. Here's your daily low, daily high, monthly open, weekly high, previous day high, Monday's high. Now remember, Monday's levels are solidified now. No, I'm wrong. I'm lying. I got my days of the week wrong. I thought today was Monday for some reason. Or today's Monday, right?
It's Tuesday technically.
It's Tuesday's candle. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
They are
Tuesday.
solidified then. What am I saying? I got myself all messed up, bro, with the snowstorm business. So yeah, okay. Well, Monday's high is right freaking here. So we might just come and get it over with now, right? But if we don't be shocked if we like Monday's levels always get taken out. Don't think for a second they're not going to. And oftentimes you SFP them. And if you get a reclaim of them and it's relative to the range you're trading in, oftentimes you'll rotate to the other side. So for example, never mind the trend lines for a second. Let's say you get this, right? And you're deviating above Monday's high and you got clear structure failure. Where do you think I'm targeting? Of course, I'm going to target here as a TP1, wherever it is on this trend line that everybody else is longing all day long. I'm going to take TP in demand here, but I'm shooting for Monday's low down here, right? Of course I'm going to. Why wouldn't I? And if we go that low, I don't think we're going to make like a higher low, higher high. I think at that point, we'll probably just run the lows into this OB that we missed. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. So like I already do, like I have a pretty, I'm saying like 70% confident that we're going to get a bounce in here. I can't say for sure. There is no for sure. I'm going to say I'm leaning 70% likely. That we're going to get at least something off that OB, which is 85,825. The bottom is 85,057-ish. So I do have I have a small limit order there, right? It's not a big one, just a starter size limit in case it happens overnight. I have a small order in here, but I have a wide stop. Like I do have a $780 stop loss on that limit. That being said, it's only a 0.5% risk trade. It's not a full 1% risk, right? So like I may pull that limit. I don't know. Like if it takes days and days and days to get down there, or we just travel higher and higher and higher, and I'm not seeing the run down there, well then no, I'm not going to leave it down there anymore. I'm going to cancel that limit. I'm only going to leave this valid for the next 36 hours. The next day and a half, otherwise I don't really want to talk about it right now. I'll reconsider it later. So we are getting a push up now. Like I don't have, like the only macro higher time frame TA that I could possibly give you guys, let me just turn everything off here, is I think, let me hide everything actually. How do I hide all this at once? Like that. All right. Okay, move this out of the way. Get this out of the way here. Boom, done. Okay. From a higher time frame perspective, back in, you have a momentum line from the top down, right? I always look at these too, right? What are other people seeing? Now, back in 2022, we did not break that momentum line like this to mitigate anything. So that there is a difference in the fractal there. So according to the fractal, despite these areas not getting mitigated, we didn't have to come back to them. Although I do believe the second you start closing above this range high and Monday's high and holding above it, I think, because you're flipping the flip zone at that point, the supply to demand flip zone, I think you're more than likely going to see a push up to at least 92,000, which would be a slight deviation from the fractal from a momentum standpoint, but it's not a deviation based on anything else. It's only a momentum-based deviation, which isn't a huge deal because the overall fractal comparison that I showed you guys many times is still technically in an okay spot. like where I think we are relative to that fractal is basically, and this is the last time I'm going to talk about it for now, but just want to very quickly show you guys what I'm kind of visualizing right here. I think, and this is kind of like, even if I didn't have the fractal, this is exactly what I'm looking at regardless. So let me just go back a little bit further. Oh my gosh. I hate how I lose my spot on this thing, man, every time. Let me go back a little bit further. Oh my God, man. This takes forever. Okay, where are we at here? October. No, it's not quite there yet. There we are. I think where we are relative to this fractal is potentially right here, right? So if you didn't see my post about it, maybe you should go read my post about it. It's, you know, it shows a little bit more details than this. But I think this, like I said this from the beginning, like I think this low, when we put this low in, I said this low looks like this low to me. And it's not candle for candle, right? It's never going to be, but this is a squeeze that I'm kind of anticipating, right? So if we start getting back above, say, I don't know, 89.3, which is your upwards momentum line, just like you deviated it back then, it's a PO3. Not only is it a PO3, it's a momentum-based PO3. So you have that momentum PO3, very engulfing move up, distribution, blah, 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 and then down. And then it hangs around and tries to accumulate again, but the accumulation fails. That's the outcome of 2022. That's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. I'm kind of looking at the same thing, but I do want you to keep in mind that we have an unfinished candle on the weekly time frame. I think I said it 15 times in the last 3 days. It's at 93,630, and we do have more supply up in this manipulation box that we could still squeeze out as well. So that is something to consider, right? So I would not, you know, set limit shorts all over the place up here. I'd watch it and I'd wait to see how price reacts. For all we know, the fractal starts to break. I've been hearing from a lot of people that my fractal, unfortunately, has been gaining traction on social media lately. A lot of traction. Of course, that would happen near the end of a fractal. Go figure. That, you know, people just like to share things that work, I guess. And you know, when that happens, a lot of the time there's deviations in them, right? Or they stop working. So I'm fully prepared at this point that, you know, it may not work the same way anymore because there's so many people sharing it, right? So who knows? For all I know, maybe we do come back up to 102, 103 and then dump down, right? I don't know. I don't really care. And I wouldn't even mind that. Like, I'm not like heavily biased in one direction. I don't care what Bitcoin does. I only care what I make in my bank account, right? It doesn't matter what the macro picture is at all because I don't care about that. I don't care about the asset because it's Bitcoin. I don't care about that. I'm a day trader, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to trade different assets, not marry them. Do you know what I mean? So, anyways, that being said, though, I do believe this has a high likelihood of even though it is being shared, you know, by the masses, whatever, I'm still treating it the way that I see it for now until proven otherwise. Now, if we start to reject and we don't get this engulfing return back below, back above like 89.5 ish, 89.3, 89.5, well, then, yeah, it's probably not a great sign. Maybe we're going to reject there and just pummel down again. I don't know. We could just run all this liquidity that's local, right? If we zoom in again, let's go to like the 5-minute. Shit. We could just grab all this liquidity and put in a lower high again, maybe reject off a supply over here because there's an order block. I guarantee you there's an order block up here somewhere, right? Maybe we just grab all that, do something like this, sweep, reject, right? I don't know, right? I'm just playing it level for level. I'm going to draw in everything that I think is significant, and that order block, if it, which I do believe there's supply there, I'll just verify in 2 seconds, but I'm going to draw in
There
everything
is.
that's significant.
It's there.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, give me 2 seconds. I got to
Check
plug
the
this
30
mouse
minute.
in. There we go. That's way better. I can't use that damn trackpad. It makes me handicapped. Yeah. Okay. So you got a 30-minute block. It's not really what I call an OBIM, but that doesn't matter because it's a supply range anyway. Let me check 45. Let me check hour. Yeah. You know what? It's the same size. It doesn't even matter. Just draw it as a 30, draw it as a 45, draw it as an hour. You get the same result. So I'm going to draw it over regardless because that is supply. And that flip zone that I was telling you guys about is over here, right? So you had an hourly demand, which was here. Let me go to the 1 hour. You had an hourly OB in the low. Now, it's not your typical color for a bullish order block, but I don't care because it still did something. It's still the lowest traded candle on that leg, and that was engulfed with fair value gaps. Between here and here is your FVG. this is still an OB. It doesn't have to be the opposite color candle for me. I don't care about that. So anyway, this is a flip zone because the objective sorry, of this demand was to take out the next higher high, which was up here, or even a local one right here. Could it do that? No, it couldn't. So you went lower low, lower high, lower low. And it's not just any lower low, it's a very, very aggressive lower low. So what does that tell me? The supply, or rather demand, flipped into something. It flipped into supply. And now where are you? What's holding us back? The flip zone. You get above that flip zone, which is 88,843, according to Bybit, BTC USDT, and you're holding that level, and you get any kind of a confirmation for an entry, I mean, it'd be kind of a no-brainer for me to take it, or anybody to take it, because the next stopping point for me, I don't think it's going to stop halfway up the curve here. It's going to sweep it all aggressively. There's tons of shorts in here, right? All weekend shorts too. Right? You'd be surprised with how many people leave their stops here and really do think it's going down to here, right away, or even like zero, right? People just don't know how to TP in this trading game. So yes, they will get swept out. Yes, they will get liquidated the second we get above here, and you'll get a flash candle up like we did in 2022 like this. Now the question is, do we get past this zone or do we reject? I don't know. It's either this or a continuation up to 92K or 93K. Between 92 and 93 is my next POI. My next POI is this supply range up here, right? I like this supply range a lot. It was a distribution. It has a rounded top. Isn't really clear. You know, you could refine it further. I mean, from a order block standpoint, but if you look in very closely on different time frames, you're going to find order blocks here. You're going to find one here. You find a few that are like here. But what's the point of drawing it that way when you can draw the entire range over like this instead? Now you can do it Thor's way. You can do it my way. I just like to take the bigger approach because it's less refined and easier to look at. So basically, anywhere from like 91.8 to 93.4 for me is a nice rejection zone. And then once price gets to it, then I'll look to refine it. But for now, I don't care. I don't need to do that right now. I'm just looking at the basics, and that's what I see. If we get above that, we have a 6-hour OB that Thor pointed out a few days ago right here. Let me just double check. I think it is a 6-hour. Yeah, it is a 6-hour OB right here, which is at 94,843 up to 95,520. And then apart from that, you have one single order block left on the high, which is a 45-minute OB up here, which is at 96,328 up to about 97,050. So that's all. Like these are my only zones of interest that I have. There's one here, 2, 3, and then 4. And if you go through each one, first of all, if you go through one, where are you going? You're going to the next one. You go through this guy, where are you going? You're going to the next one. Draw them out like this if it makes it easier on your head, right? And if you break the upper zone and do not SFP this immediate high, and you start closing above that high, where are you going? 100K, at minimum 100K. You're going up to 102 probably. So I'll even draw it out here. 102K, which is the 786 of the daily retracement leg. That would be my next target, 102K. Right, and Thor pointed that one out as well, right? And that is my order block as well that I was looking for. So 102K would be 102 target supply. Give me 1 second, guys. What the hell is that now? I'm getting like dings all over. Why is that happening? Yeah. Okay, that's so annoying. Okay, I gotta mute my Discord, guys. Hang on. I don't know why that happens, bro. Like every time I'm on a stream, I get weird spam from people I don't even know. What the heck? I need mute conversations. There we go. There we go. All right, that's so annoying. So yeah, we get above here, we're going up. There's no other answer for me. Now, could we SFP this high, sweep Monday's high, and come down again, losing structure, and then getting an immediate reclaim of this range? Absolutely, we could. Do I think it's as likely? I don't know. Right? I'm kind of hoping, or rather, I was kind of hoping because I'm not in a trade right now. I was kind of hoping we get like a little bit of a pullback, sweep Monday's low, maybe, or even do this and then come up. That would be good because then you'd have a structure shift right here, which isn't something you had in 2022. Right? We didn't have that part. This part of the fractal doesn't exist. So I wouldn't even mind a deviation from it because it would be a good long, I feel, down here. But that's one idea that I'm looking for is this, obviously. The other idea that I'm looking for is I don't really like trading in this local range because it's so wishy-washy, I'll be honest. Even with the trend lines and all, it's kind of messed up. But I wouldn't mind retesting this wick right here. This is one area I wouldn't mind a retest of, this whole demand wick. It swept out liquidity. It was part of the Model 1 accumulation, internally speaking. But again, there's also a 5-minute block. Yeah, that is my 5-minute block. So that wick is my 5-minute OB. But notice how on the wick on the 1 hour, it's a little larger. Sorry, not 1 hour. 15? No, was it 30? Time for 45 rather. 45, yeah. On the 45, it's a little bit bigger to draw the wick in than the actual OB.
5 minute.
I would draw it my way though, because I see it all the time where you front run the OB into the top of the wick and it does that. Now you don't have to, but I'm doing it this way. So yeah, it is a 5-minute block with a little bit. I'm going a little bit past it using the 45-minute wick. And actually, it wouldn't be too bad to get like an SFP right here. If we can get it, I'm taking it, right? I would take this 10 times out of 10. If I seen a structure break coming out of this zone and it's an SFP close and not like a high time frame bearish close like this is a trade I take 10 times out of 10. And I would look to target at least up to here. And if I didn't see any rejections here at 89.9, or sorry, 88.9, 89K, well, then I'm going to ride it up. I'll ride it up as high as I can. I'll swing trade that thing, why not? But as we are right now, let me turn view up on. I don't really like the view up's not even going to load, is it? Cool. Oh, I got my indicators off, that's why. Yeah, we're good. I'll be honest, man, I don't really like this zone. I don't really like the idea of trading right here. It's wishy-washy. Like if I was to trade anything, it'd be a short, not a long here. Because you're at range premium, right? So if this is your range, and I'm only looking very local, guys. I'm not drawing in every single range that I see. I'm talking very, very local here. If this is my range, anything past this line here up to here is premium. Anything from this line up to this thicker line here is extreme premium. Where is price at? We'll draw it in. That's extreme premium. Why would you want to pay $10 for an apple when you can get it for $1 down here, right? That's my logic. I don't want to pay $10 for an apple. I'd rather wait for the apples to go on sale. And if I'm wrong, then I take it as a continuation range-based play, right? Instead of jumping the gun here, where am I going to cover my stop? Right here? Who's to say they don't do this and then do that? And then I'm stuck or trapped in a trade or even stopped out of a trade. And then the real bounce happens later. No, thank you. I don't long the highs like this. I don't breakout trade like this. This is kind of like a breakout trade, but at least you see the continuation structure back test first. I wouldn't just blindly take it on the first engulfing candle under the range. Like I'll enter here with the stop here. That would never happen. That's super stupid. So that's kind of where my head's at. I don't really think I don't really want to get involved with super high time frame macro stuff. What I told you guys is where my head is right now. Again, I think we're going up. It's just a matter of when. I could be wrong. My alternate plan is that I'm wrong. Okay, well then I look for shorts. I'll look to continue it down short. We start losing 85K and you're closing down here bearishly. Yeah, that ain't a good sign. I don't think in any world that's a good sign. I mean, sure, we might like sweep the previous month low or previous quarter low or something like that and get a reaction. We can look to scalp it, but I wouldn't say it's enough to take you all the way back to 100K. This shouldn't happen for me, right? I don't like the idea of this happening because that's a bearish, very bearish, very bearish sign, right? So I'm kind of looking for anything above 85K to hold. If I go to the daily, even if I go to the 2-day, you can see where we're at, right? Let me turn the indicators off again. Where are we? We literally hit the top of this daily body candle, this OB candle. You can draw them this way as well. Sometimes I do this, where I draw the top of the daily body. But if you really refine, you'll find there's an OB in there. The whole thing is an OB, right? If you go to the 2-day time frame, like I told you guys before, that was up here actually. Sorry, the 2-day was up there. Yeah, we went lower. We went right to the demand range. So we go to the 2-hour, not 2-day. It was 2-hour. Look at this 2-hour OB right here. But what I did is I went down even lower. So what I did is I said, okay, instead of taking just the OB, because that may get fronted since everything else does these days, why don't I just take the range if there's a range there? And I went to like the 5 and I said, oh yeah, look at that. There's a range. So I'm going to draw the whole thing as a potential demand range. I'll change the color to green. I can see it very clearly and I'll cancel that replay and look at this. Voila, we have ourselves a range of price. That price could actually hold because it was unmitigated. And I mean, it goes along well with the idea of SFPing this low. Now I don't want to see closes. I just want to see a quick sell to buy with a nice, hopefully an engulfing candle follow through. That would be great. You don't want to really see like this and then like a crappy little SFP candle like this and then up like this. I don't want to see that. I want to see like actual strength in the move if it comes down, right? And also, I'll look for a reclaim at Monday's low. So I'll watch where Monday's low is. If I don't see Monday's low getting reclaimed, we start rejecting against it. That's not a good sign. Monday's low will be right here, by the way, at 86.45. So coming down, rejecting up this level and holding, which would also be your value area low more than likely as well. That ain't a good sign. You have to use your volume profile. You have to use your market structure. You have to use your common sense, your range theory. It should be a very easy thing to play if you know the basics and all that. And we give the basics out on all that on pretty much every stream, you know. So we're telling you how to, or I'm telling you how to take advantage, and Thor and Spartan have their ways of doing it, but we generally end up with a very similar conclusion at the end of the day. Um, so that's all I'm looking at. I'll pass the torch to you guys because I don't see an immediate trade. If I'll say this last thing, like if I was up on the day, I wouldn't take it as the first trade of the day, that's for sure. But if I was up on the day, I would consider possibly taking a short scalp, but I wouldn't want to take it into VWAP, right? Like I'd want to see it, especially with daily open right below it. I want to see a loss of VWAP, very clear rejections, not able to hold it, and then consider shorts. If you want to take the gamble, you could take the market structure break and possibly retest entry, but again, I would de-risk the crap out of this right away because it could just hold VWAP to the dollar and do that, right, and take you later to the trade. That's all I have. There's nothing more because this is actually like the worst price action range I've seen in a long time. I'll pass the torch. I'm going to stop streaming. Yeah, the 88 point long was awesome, bro. I know.
Go ahead, Spartan. Spartan
Potato,
even here, or is he AFK?
No, I'm here.
Or-
I'm here. My I
He
was
got he got the potato leg, bro.
Yeah, I was just gonna say mine's gonna be like 5 minutes, bro. So, all right. So anybody who was with me and Phoenix last night in the stream, these levels should look familiar. All I've done, guys, is drawn a fixed range starting from here, pulling it across here, and I'm getting these super local so anytime that there's a big node right here, a volume node, I'm drawing a red line. All right. One of my plans that I was talking about for the past couple weeks, I'll repeat what I said last night, was this 87.6 area. All right, getting hit. And I even said on stream, I think last week or the week before, that if we come down there, I wanted to see these lows get taken. All right, and what I really wanted to see was us deviate, come back up, retest, and then continue moving up. All right. When we first came down to this 87 level, right over here, 87.5, whatever this level is, this node. All right. I was a little surprised that we got the immediate bounce, which was close to, I think, a 2% bounce up to the node above us, almost 3% bounce. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting us to come to that level, immediately knock this stuff out, knock this liquidity out, the equal lows that were down here, the liquidity curve, and then work our way up. But you know what? Bitcoin decides to do what Bitcoin does, and we ended up coming up, getting rejection, filling this gap, and then coming back down. When we came back down, we nailed a fair value gap that, that was kind of our last little hope. If we didn't nail that and get a reaction off of that, I thought there was a great chance of us coming down to 84.3, wiping out the liquidity over here, and then kind of looking for the same play, which would be a break and a retest. So thankfully, we did get a little support here. I told you guys on the stream that I really talked about this. Again, I didn't want to take the tap here. I didn't trust this so much just because I didn't want to have to cover this whole low. And knowing that there's a low here and a low here, that could easily just get swept out, and then I'm knocked out of a trade and I'm watching it go up in my favor. I thought the better play was waiting for the retest of that 87.4 level. All right. So last night we were looking at it. Let me get down to the 15-minute. All right. Last night, where were we? We were right around here when we streamed. And I said that I wasn't really much of a fan of this level because of how we were breaking through it. We were just kind of hanging out. I was just like, all right, in my opinion, like it's not really making a decision. There was a brief short on a back test here, but I kind of just walked away from it. Once we started breaking down there, I was just like, all right, I don't really want to touch this. I want to see a clear break and a retrace. One of the big targets we were looking at was knocking out these and filling up this gap. All right. So essentially, that's what we ended up getting. We did, if you guys would have been up and awake, because this happened, what, at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, we did get a true break and a retest. And remember, guys, I said that if we take these highs first and then retest, I would like that trade a lot because now we've kind of done the SFP thing. If this is an SFP, so this should hold. If it doesn't, we can kind of put our stop right underneath the low, not really stretch it out too much and take the risk on that trade. If you would have gotten in that, you would have had a nice little ride to finish filling this hourly gap. And then we rejected from the top of that hourly gap right around here. Me and Phoenix both mentioned that this area was supply in there. We came in, found rejection, and then we came back down to that node. All right. And you could see, like, even once we came down here, there was a lot of indecision. All right. So that I felt like this area right here was really, I'm not willing to take a trade. I'm not. Because we're just kind of slicing and dicing through here. So the same deal. The play for me would have been either a break up, retest up, or once we're already under it, a clear retest here and breaking down. All right, and we essentially got ourselves a nice little accumulation or whatever you want to call it. Where was it? Right here. We got ourselves some nice little accumulation in here where we did break market structure on the way up. All right, and then we ended up getting a retest where? Directly on that node. All right, so that would have been another instance where, like I've said with the nodes, they're not entry models, they're just points of interest. This area is a point of interest, but not every time we touch it, we're entering a trade. You want to see a clear change of character, market structure shift, something that's showing you like, all right, we're making a move up. The the reasonable play would be for us to come down and retest it. And we nailed it to the dollar. That was an awesome trade from there to the high. Even if you were just taking it up to this previous high, I think it was close to 1%. So you could have done pretty well with that. Like, I'm gonna post a clip tonight or tomorrow where we talked about it, but it was a percent trade from here up to the previous high. What I'm looking for now, guys, we are. Let's see. Trying to remember what this was specifically. I think this was an imbalance. If you were to draw, let me see. I forget why I drew that. I think it was an imbalance, a candlestick imbalance, or no, 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 that was, I don't know. Honestly, I can't. I think it was just highlighting these windows of imbalances and showing how this used to be a bigger imbalance, but we felt it. But I think it's just been on my chart that long where it's kind of like, all right, you know. But the cool thing is, if you look at the parameters of it, look where this ends, right on the node. All right, look where we rejected, right on the node. Again, guys, if you want to zoom in and start taking all these little ranges, profiles, you can do that. You can do that. You can definitely capitalize off of small moves from those. Me personally, I feel like the more consistent ones are the larger time frames, meaning this 60-day range or however long this range we've been in. Uh 74-day range, but more so I like the larger macro drawn across the year and a half range that we've been in. But for now, just because this area on the macro looks a little muddied up because there's been a lot of price action. There's been a lot of price action. It's been a year and a half worth of price action that's been on the charts. So it looks a little muddied up. I wanted to get an accurate depiction of what was going on in this range right here. All right. For me, man, now I'm looking at, I think, yes, right here. So I drew this yesterday, this red line, and this red line was where we closed on Friday. Typically, you get a retest of those levels. I think that we're headed up to 88 point, or what is this? What is this level? 89 to 10, but more so if we don't get slapped down by that POC, I really think we're going up to 90. That's just my personal opinion where we are. I'm not saying we're going to go yoink straight up to 90. We could still range because, guys, remember what this is. This is showing you that there's an imbalance. When there's imbalances, you usually bounce around them a little bit and consolidate. Look what we've done throughout the day. We came into it, bounced off the top, came back down, bounced off the bottom. Now we're back up at the top again. All right, so we play this ping pong game. So I would pay attention to something happening around this area. That's the lower time frame node that's sitting right above us. So, you could easily see a play like this where we come up, boom, sweep that previous high, break back down and retest. I think this would be a good entry if you notice that. Now on the other side of the coin, if we come up, sweep this high first, look like we're SFPing, but then you're noticing that we're getting something like this, I definitely think this retest could definitely be a good trade to take you up to 89,210, which is Friday's close. I like 89,210. It's a good level. Friday's close usually come back. And like the reason why, like it's the same concept about CME gap. All right, it's where all of these bigger positions and stuff closed out because they're not trading the weekends or yada. I'm not exactly sure about why CME works or why this works, but it makes sense that it works. I know that sounds kind of like gibberish, but you know what, man? Freaking, if it works, like we were talking about yesterday with the OI, if it works, so what if you don't really understand it? It's working. And if you have data that shows that it's worked over time, then you know what? You just got to take it as what it is. But yeah, man. So right now we're sitting in between two nodes. Uh, and I had like these are my two big levels, man. If we start losing where we're at now, I definitely think 84 is on the table. If we start coming down now and breaking down and retesting all this, I would be looking for a possible short from 87.5 down to 84.3. This is the Bybit USD chart. Whatever you're charting on might be a little different. All right. But yeah, that's pretty much where I am. The POC, I don't think we've shifted it yet, but it's getting close. It's definitely getting close. Let me pull the POC out real quick. Let me just whip it out.
Hmm.
Hasn't shifted down yet, but you know what, man? We have almost three battling POCs over here. So expect us to test those POCs. Expect for us to test those nodes because there's a high amount of volume in those areas. This one's catching up to the POC up at 9212. All right, and this is very close to the high volume node at 90. So these are all relatively close in volume, so they typically will act like a magnet. Um, One thing that I can clearly see that kind of helps us with this target being hit is the clear liquidity curve that was put in. All right, we all see it. We all know, we've been taught a million times that when you see price action like this, that usually means it's pretty easy to run. All right, once we start stopping some of these out, it kind of just cascades and we end up running. All right, and guys, you just take it to level to level, on all of these. Like I can literally just come here, boom, control V. What do I want to see? I want to see a break and a retest. And then what do I want to see after that? If we get above this level and we make it to the next node, I want to see a break and a retest. And giving me more confirmations, meaning if I get to this level and I see an accumulation or something developing in those areas, I'm more willing to take it. You know what I mean? Like it's tough when it's just because it happens. We see it all the time where it'll just come up and say F the accumulation. I just want to come down, touch, and boom. You might get an accumulation on like the 30-second or the 15, but any non-degen time frame, you're sitting there like, bro, that was just like the weirdest tap in the world because we only sat there for a second. All right, but yeah, these levels are all something that I'm looking at. I'm not really paying much mind to this to that volume profile that I pulled, just because, guys, it's only, let me see, is it this one? Yeah, it's only freaking 7 days worth of data. It's a week worth of pool. I rather depend on this one right here that gives us the whole 75 days of this range. I think these levels are nicer, but you can catch little cheeky levels within this area that are like, okay, that makes sense. And if you look where, and it's cool because the high volume node that we rejected off of this small 7 day one, you can see it right here, matches up with this bit of volume that sits in between the low volume node. All right, so you could have found that level based upon this bigger range, but sometimes, you know what, man, it makes more sense to you to see a certain level if you zoom in a bit. Like zooming in is not always a bad thing, but yeah, like I like to look more so at the larger time frames. It gives you more of a depiction of what's going on. Um, but yeah, man, we're kind of at that point. I would really like to see 89 to 210 hit. That would be nice. I would really like to see 90K hit. Those are two levels that I'm really interested in seeing what happens here. Because week again, guys, what is it in? It's in a low volume node. So where are we going? Like we could easily just bounce within this low volume node a little longer before we make a decision to go up or make a decision to go back. If we range within this area, this POC is going to shift down, meaning you're going to see positions open as we tap into that POC. Whether it be as we approach it, we get hit with a bunch of sell pressure, or once we get above it, you're going to see a lot of buys come into the market. But just keep an eye on that. And same deal, if we range around here, there's a good chance the POC might drop down to here. All the value area traders, again, when we approach it, they might buy into it as support, or when we break under it and try to retest it, you might see that heavy sell pressure come in. So just keep an eye on that and just understand how close these three nodes are to being the POC of this entire range. All right. I'm sure, I think on Coinbase, it already shifted down, so it's some food for thought. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That was what, 7 minutes, 8 minutes? I'm done. Your turn, Thor. Any questions, concerns? Are you guys making fun of me? Making fun of, what's it called? Oh, this
Ugh.
guy's legit. That guy's
Cup and
legit.
handle, dude. Cup and handle.
I just want to oh, wait, hold on. Maybe.
You just want to go through chat live?
Yes, I want to see what shit you're talking. All right, cool. I'm all right with it. You guys weren't being nerds and counting how many times I
That
counted
what?
that I counted
That
that I said nodes. Wait, wait,
yeah,
wait.
there you go.
What in the Tory?
I was sharing a chart that my friend sent me. He's like the trend line. He's like the trend line master, bro. I'm telling you, like this guy will draw a trend line weeks in advance with a limit order on the trend line, and he'll hit it with a $50 stop loss and get like a $10,000 move every time. I'm like, how on earth are you hitting those, bro? But he does every shot, bro. I'm telling you. And I was just looking at his chart that he shared, and I shared it with everybody else. But that's kind of like what he's looking at right now. Basically, looking at there's a massive falling wedge kind of formation, I guess he's looking at, and it looks like we're trying to break up from it right now.
Yeah, trend lines work, man. You know what? Anybody who talks shit about other people's strategies is just a big asshole. All right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Because so what? It don't make
I
sense to
100.
you. If it works for you and you're making money and your bank account's going up because of that dumbass strategy, it's a valid strategy. Everyone else
Listen,
can.
bro. I think that listen, you can be the best TA wizard in the world until you actually like trade it. It's a trading and TA. Two different things. I'll tell anybody can try to. You'll never win that argument against me. I don't care who it is. I'll never ever like. I'll defend that till the day I die, bro.
Yep.
You can be the master at like finding levels and bounces and everything else, but if you can't translate it over from a trading standpoint and not fumble the entry and everything else and TP when you're supposed to and all this stuff, bro, that's like again, TA drawing on the chart and actually teaching and doing all this stuff is different stories, you know.
100%.
But yeah, no, like this guy literally has a 90% win rate. He's clearing 50K plus a day, and he's trading for the last 7 years, literally trend lines, and not just trend lines. He uses market structure. He uses order blocks. He uses Wyckoff. He took my course, but he still, no matter, like after he took my course, he said, I'm using your stuff as my secondary, not my primary. So I respect that. Listen, I respect that. You know, it's kind of like extra confluence for his ideas in a way. But man, I'm telling you, like, I've never seen precision like that in my life with trend lines before. But yeah, I guess certain people have the touch, you
Yeah,
know?
that's Tori Trades, the YouTube girl. She disappeared though.
I don't know who that is. I have no idea who that is. I heard her name like a dozen times in the last month for
I,
some reason,
I'm
but I
sh-
don't know who she is.
I'm sure you've seen her around. Short-haired girl, freaking. She's not
She
too
in
ugly.
James?
No, 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 no. She's our own YouTube person. She only trades trend lines. Yeah, she's kind of cute,
I don't
man.
know anybody though, right? Like,
I would.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, Thor.
You guys good?
Yeah.
You there?
You sure you can handle that?
I'll try and make it short and sweet because I don't vary much from White Phoenix from what White Phoenix was saying. I don't really mind where we're at, and I don't really think this looks like trash per se, but I'm going to break this down for you the way that I see it more locally, okay? So on the 4-hour time frame here, we had produced this range that was sitting in here, and you guys know that I will go off the highest time frame possible that captures majority of the PA and shows the range, right? So we got this in here right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this. You guys can go from bottom to the top, go from the candle body open and closes here, and I'm just going to pull this over. What I'll do is I will give you guys the numbers here as far as what's going on locally. 90.3 to 88.4. We always just round them off. So there you go. I had posted this in my channel about an hour and a half ago because I found it quite interesting where we were sitting at. I'm now going to move down to the 30-minute time frame now that I have this highlighted. I clean this up a little bit. We'll throw a volume profile over this. We'll only take what's within that range. We'll tighten this up just so it's nice and neat. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to highlight where we were today, the range that we are playing today. And I'm going to take it from the 30-minute, from the bottom to the top here. And I'm just going to highlight this. And then I'm going to label this as well. You guys can follow along if you want. If you don't, no big deal. 88.152. So we'll do 88.2 to 87.241. We'll do 87.2. Okay. That's your range high, local range low here. I'll change the color since that's where we were locally. And then last but not least, I'm just going to highlight what was actually below us. And again, that was on the 30-minute time frame, captures majority of the PA, including the wicks. I'm going to pull from the candle bodies. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to label this red as well. Let's do this real quick. There we go. 86.930, 86.9 to 86.3, 86.3. There we go. All right. Something interesting was happening when I pointed this out in my channel, and I'll tidy this up a little bit. We'll take this, we'll throw some volume profiles on here. We'll only take what's within. Yeah, we can go a little bit over. That's fine. And then we'll take this down here. I, for one, don't really give a crap about anything outside of these three boxes because this is tradable. And White Phoenix had already pointed out a few things in particular as far as upside. So I don't really want to be repetitive here. Okay. What I found interesting is that we were starting to break. I said, Asia gives me PTSD, but I can't ignore what was actually happening right now. We had a 2-hour that was sitting. Actually, let me go back. We'll go back to the 15-minute time frame. Was it the 30? What time frame did we see here? It was low time frames. It was low time frames, but you didn't necessarily have an order block sitting there per se, but we did have this gap on the 15 minutes. So I'm just going to go off of the gap on the 15-minute time frame. So we were essentially sitting right in between here, guys. We kind of came up. We couldn't actually close and hold 88.4, this previous range high above us. And we came down to retest not the fair value, but the value area high here, and also fill this 15-minute fair value gap and touch and backtest 88.2, which is our local range high. And I did say that if we break up from here, what I would like to see is something like this. Okay, something like this. Let's take this. Let's go over here. Let's go to the CME. To fill the gap on the CME, you're talking roughly 89.3. Okay, it's 89.3 to roughly fill that CME gap. If I was to mark this out, guys, all right, 89.3 sits, we'll go up to a higher time frame. Let me get rid of this. 89.3 sits somewhere in here. We'll label this CME. CME. What I would like to see is something like this, man. Something like this, where you kind of come up and you fill the CME and then possibly retest 88.4. Okay. I can tell you right now that what had already happened is we started closing within. I told you guys look for a close and a hold. You did have a close and a hold of 88.4, and 88.4 has been mitigated. But if we come up like this during Asia or London, and we kind of come into this range that's sitting here, and we find a rejection, we could actually reject somewhere right back down around 88.4. And what that's going to do, we don't have anything on the CME. What that's going to do is it's going to break for a higher high here locally. You're going to take out this high. So I'm actually looking to take out this 30-minute high here. There's your high to your low. If we actually come up here and kind of fill the CME and we actually reject somewhere from the CME, but we're closing within this overall range, you could probably look for longs if you didn't already here at 88.4. You had a close and hold of 88.4. Here's the thing. On the 15-minute time frame, it shows even more. If we already have a 2-hour close in here, guys. We have a 2-hour close within this overall range of 90.3 to 88.4. We don't necessarily have to come up to the CME gap before we actually, and watch this come back down before we actually look for longs. If we can close and hold within here right now, okay, and the opportunity arises, where was it? Bear with me. I just saw it. We know that we have this. We know that we mitigated pretty much 88.4. I don't think that's going to hold again. But just below here, right at 88.2, if we kind of swing fail this and do something like that, you might have a long opportunity on your hand here as well. Like you have a 10-minute order block that's kind of sitting in there right now. It's a little bit risky, but yeah, I don't like it. I'll tell you why. It kind of defeats the purpose of the short that I was looking at. So bear with me, guys. If 88.4, if we can hold 88.4, we can look for longs. I'm looking to actually wipe all of this out. Why close just the CME gap and reject when we can actually look to actually wipe all of this out? Weekend shorts. And if that's the case, if we can close and hold in here, I'm actually looking to come up much higher towards 90.3. 90.3, you got an order block or just the range high. You have the range high sitting in here. You also have this deviation. You close back within. You never back tested this. So you have your value area, your range high. All of that's kind of coming in right around 90K, 90.3. Would not surprise me if we start closing and holding this, but I'd say if we can at least break 30-minute structure here and find some type of retest within, then look for longs, man. You're playing within the previous range that we broke down from. I don't really see any issue with that. I would not mind actually seeing this come up, filling the CME gap, wiping out weekend shorts, and coming all the way back up to 90.3 right in here. If that's not the case, you've already tapped on 88.4. You've already tapped on 88.2. This local range has been mitigated. The range low has been mitigated. And what's going to happen is if you fail here, you're going to start breaking structure, this 5-minute local uptrend structure here. If you start breaking structure and falling back under 88.2, next place you're going to be looking for is like what White Phoenix was actually talking about. I want to say you're talking about right here, White Phoenix, or down a little bit further. I know we're talking about 87.3, 87.4. You got that 5-minute order block. You also have this to contend with. Problem with this, though, is I don't really see why they would actually break structure like this and then bounce from here. Why not just take the slow swing, fail it into a 5-minute order block? It would make more sense to me to see something like this and just come down here, come back right back down to the range low. So those are the two objectives that I'm actually looking at right now. I was going to say that little 10-minute order block that was sitting in there would be nice, but do we break this local uptrend is the question, and we do. I mean, you start coming back down here and you jeopardize breaking at least 5-minute structure. It's a possibility that we actually do something like this, but then you have to reclaim 88.4 and then carry on. I just don't think it's a wise decision now that I'm actually talking about it. 2-hour close back above 88.4. We've been talking about 88.4 since this morning, since pretty much New York Open. This was actually not all that bad. I caught it as it happened, and I'm like, well, if we can reclaim, 87.3 to 87.4-ish, which would have been the value area. Again, this is local, but on a different chart here. Let me just show you what I have on the different chart. You had this internal that was sitting here pretty much at 87.3. 87.3, 87.4 is also that 5-minute order block. You guys can see it right here. That's what White Phoenix was actually pointing out. Again, we ran right into the GP. We kind of left it behind. But yeah, 87.3 would have been nice, man. Instead, we got left behind. We came right back up to 88.4. If you guys remember from earlier on this morning, I was trying, we were looking for longs in here, and I was looking to run this back up to 88.4. The objective was 88.4. Instead, what we did is we ended up closing up this 4-hour fair value gap that was sitting down here. So you had the 4-hour fair value gap, and on the other time frame, the other chart, let me pull this back up, it was dead nuts right into 86.9, which was actually your 30-minute range. Right here. So you had a nice little swing fail. Would have been nice to do something like this, retest, away we went. I suppose that when you do things like this, though, this is left wide open. So even though we don't immediately get our setup here after closing and holding within, you came up to the target, you came right back down to that GP. You could have entertained longs here, or you could have entertained longs right on that 5-minute order block. In hindsight, it was a GP. I wasn't around to actually see that, but I was around to actually see this. And this is what I found intriguing about an hour and a half ago. And we are closing within, guys. Once you start to look at the lower time frames, I started to realize, well, the only place that I could really see us find any sort of like possible resistance is going to be in here. Because here you closed this up earlier today at 87 or 88.8. So you really have nothing in here. You don't have anything in here to be concerned about anymore. And that's when you start to run into like all these weekend shorts, guys, and filling the CME gap. I don't see anything here, here, here. Like White Phoenix pointed out, this is just going to be more or less from this point on. This is more or less going to be a cascade of short liquidations, and then possibly just wiping out all of the weekend shorts right back into the range high. So I didn't see anything here. And I actually looked on the lower time frames. Yeah, man, Asia pretty much doing Asia things. That's the high, that's the local high that we're putting in at 87,747. I mean, it's on the 1 minute, it's semi-equal in nature here too. Like right here, it's semi-equal. Yeah, this local trend needs to continue. That would be cool. This local trend needs to continue. Otherwise, what you're going to have is a higher time frame deviation of 88.4. And once you start to break low time frame structure, I would probably entertain shorts. Once you start to break structure here, at least on the 2-minute time frame, I would probably entertain shorts. And if it's not, even if it's just for more or less a starter position, there's room. There's definitely room. White Phoenix, what time frame were you looking at? You had mentioned somewhere around the overall point of control, and I'm trying to figure out what time frame you were looking at. I know, was it down here at like 87.6? Were you pointing this out? That was an area for longs, and then the 5-minute order block was an area for longs, right? You had ideas here and here.
Yeah, I just can't remember where I don't think I actually drew the POC on that. Let me check. But I have been dabbling
You have
a
a
lot
5-minute order block at 87.6, and you also have the range low here at 87.4-ish.
87.8 is where I have a POC right now. Where's yours? 87.
Well,
You have the
that's at
same one.
87.853.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
I have the same one.
Yeah,
But what I
Okay.
like better, Thor, was sweeping that low, man. I wanted that damn order block earlier. We didn't get it. You know, that 5-minute OB.
You're talking down here at 87.5. I know. I wanted that too because we got left behind on this move. We came right back up in here and it actually rejected right from the previous range high. That was anticipated because on the 15-minute time frame, you had a fill here. Like we saw this earlier on this morning, and that was your fill on that 15-minute. Again, deviation, and you just shot right back down. Should have been looking for longs to ride this back up. You retested this. That's good. It's the same thing. It's just opposites, right? So you came all the way down here, found support. This is where you found resistance. If you did something like this, it doesn't change. You could have back tested and then entered short here if it gave you the opportunity. But if that was the case, you'd now be in a short heading down to supply. And if this came back up, it's not stopping here again. It's going to blow right through. So again, no back test of 88.4, shot right down, opened you up for long opportunities to ride this all the way back up. Found support, should have had immediate back test right here, never did, got left behind. What happens? Come up to resistance, and then you finally come back down for a possible long opportunity. Would have been nice to come a little bit lower, but that's how it works, guys. If this was already mitigated, if you did something like this, then this would have been mitigated, and then you would have been free and clear to actually come up higher. Yeah, man, even if we do just come down to this this point of control here, even if we do just kind of come down to this point of control here, you're going to start breaking structure. And if you break structure and you get immediate back test somewhere around 88.2-ish, I would probably take it, man. I would probably take it. Maybe you do something like this, which is what I pointed out on the higher time frames, is when we were sitting in here, if you broke local structure, you could come down to this point of control and then back test and then head lower, either here or here. So let's measure that out. Like if that was to actually happen where you break structure, let's say it's immediate. Let's say we immediately get a back test. We don't even actually come down to the point of control, but we do something like this and then we come down to the point of control. Do you have room to actually open up a short before you start running into those order blocks? Barely, but if that order block somewhere right around the point of control doesn't hold, then you're looking down here. Now it's worth it. And if that's not the case, then you swing fill this low into that 5-minute order block and the range low. Now it's definitely starting to get worth it. If that doesn't hold, this is no longer going to hold. You mitigated the range high here. So yeah, you could start a position here if you start to break low time frame structure, but quite honestly, man, I'm kind of leaning more towards upside. Here's another thing too, so we'll get to the oscillators and then I'm done. Look at the 30-minute, guys. 30-minute didn't look all that bad. You had bull divs here on the 30-minute. It didn't even look bad during New York Open, but we had to F around and find out. So there was that. But yeah, I'm kind of more or less waiting to see if we can break this high here, break that 30-minute high. That would be a change of structure. And if that's the case, I think we fill the CME. We do something like this, and we come up all the way to at least 90.3. If I'm wrong, then you're going to break low time frame structure, and then I'd at least try and ride this down to the range lows. Similar in approach, similar to what White Phoenix was saying. A little bit different of a layout, but this is pretty clean. Your 4-hour range. Another hour, you're about to have a 4-hour close within. Want to see, we didn't back test this. We didn't back test. We back tested on the lower time frames, 88.4, but on the 2-hour time frame, we have yet to back test 88.4, which tells me there might be there's got to be something in here that we might be able to latch on to right around 88.4 on the low time frames, but I am not seeing it, guys. I'm just not seeing it. Wait a minute. That low on the 2-hour looks like there's no wicks on the sticks. There's no buying tell here. And check this out. You have an order block that's sitting right here at 88.4. 88.380 is your low, and you got an order block sitting right here. So there is room. The idea still stands that if this 2-hour, if we can actually close and hold within and hold 88.4, you guys could be looking for longs here. You guys could be looking for longs to actually ride this up to a fill of the CME and possibly see all these weekend shorts go all the way up to the range high. So there's your two scenarios. Break low time frame structure, short. Backtest 80, 88.4 and things look good, take it. Here's another thing too, and I'll leave you be. I don't really see a whole lot. I don't really see a whole lot here on the low time frames below this point that hasn't already been mitigated. I see this in here, but once you start to lose 88.4, you could do something like this. You're already going to break structure. Right, you won't break structure there. You got to come down here. I see this in here, and I see this here. I would really like to see a bounce on the 2-hour time frame and close and hold at 88.4. If you see any sort of deviation, you kind of come down here. Wait for a reclaim. Wait for a reclaim. What do we got here locally? We don't have anything there locally. What do we got from the pivot low to the pivot high? Yeah, guys, things are starting to add up here a little bit. So this is your 2-hour structure, local structure here. This is your break. There's your high. There's your lower high. There's your higher high. You got the GP. You got a 2-hour order block. You have your 4-hour range low. I'd be looking in here, guys. If it comes back down, I'd be looking in here. Just for the sake of this local structure continuing on. Yeah, VWAP is not that far off either, guys. It's really not. Doesn't necessarily have to bounce off of VWAP, but you could wick down here and still hold VWAP and do something like that. We'll see what plays out, but those are my ideas. It's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm kind of glad I pointed that out because we came right down. We tapped 88.2, confirmed it, started closing back within on the 30-minute. You got your close and hold here of 88.4. Now we're just going to see if these higher time frames will actually do something like this. I don't think there's a wick on the, is there a wick there? Is a 2-hour wickless? It's not wickless. It's hard to see, but it's not wickless. Might as well be from this angle, but zoom out enough.
That's what I find. Like when you, yeah.
I just, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to see like what more or less is around that point of control. What did we have on the daily here? Yeah, I'm not going to find it on the daily, guys. I'm not going to find it on the daily. Look at that tap, man. Look at this, man. Look at this, and look at this.
What is it?
Just like to the dollar touches of these ranges, man. To the dollar touch of that 30-minute range high. To the dollar touch after a close and hold. Like you had an opportunity here, and you'll have an opportunity here. So again, like
the dollar pussycat pool.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to see if there's anything else there. I really don't even think that you come back and bounce off of that point of control, man. I really don't. I honestly think that you're more or less going to go right through, like slice right through that point of control because the point of control has been mitigated.
It might just
I mean, there's a chance, okay? There's a chance, but still, you break structure. Even if you bounce from here, you're breaking structure. You should be more or less looking for shorts at 88.2 to like 88.4, okay? Depending on how it comes down. Because I just like, if that's the case, it's going to mitigate it. You're going to back test. You're going to find a rejection after breaking structure. And then you're going to come down here. You're going to come down here or possibly way lower.
Yeah. Where's the session PO? Do you ever use session POCs and stuff like that or no?
I don't use session POCs. This is another thing that I want to mention here real quick, because I said this the last time we actually streamed. For all of you like basic guys, not basic, but just like your beginner technical analysis, I was telling you guys about like how often you guys could sit here on the 6-hour time frame if you're new to trading, and how much I actually like the 6-hour time frame on these oscillators. This is another, I just got done pointing this out last week. You had bullish divs here on the 6-hour time frame. Never mind this crap, okay? Never mind the juice. It doesn't matter on the 6-hour time frame. I said 9 times out of 10, anytime you guys see something like this, even if you don't trade the same way as White Phoenix, or you don't trade the same way as me, like 9 times out of 10, any time that you see bull divs, you're going to get something out of it. You're going to get something out of it. It may not be much, but it's something. In this case, you're already up 3% on those 6-hour bull divs, and we just pointed that out last week. Backtest it. Go ahead, backtest it, but like 9 times out of 10, you're usually going to get something out of it. This is going to go, man. Asia's actually going to push this up for a change.
They might, yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me to actually reject from here on the lower time frames. It doesn't make sense. Even down to the 1 minute, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
Unless the SFP the high. OI looks like crap, but we'll see. There's no follow through an opening.
If they swing fail the 30-minute high here at 89,
Yeah, like the New York high. Yeah.
But where to is the big question. To the
No.
CME?
Yeah, maybe they got that 4-hour CME, right?
It's hard to tell because, like you said, this is chop suey in here. It's like where at is the bigger question. It would kind of bum me out if we don't actually get a back test of this, but it leaves it wide open. So I guess it doesn't matter if you didn't get in here off of a long, which I doubt anybody did. You could come up here and start filling this. I will say that on the 2-hour time frame,
I'm longless, bro.
kind of
I was
have
hoping for a
this.
back test. Well, actually, I would have gotten in a long if I had it home, but it wasn't home, so I didn't see it. But anyway, either way, it was sketchy. Like, I feel like the long was still sketchy because you didn't know for sure if it was going to break up or not. You know, like you're trading long at a premium price, like I said. You know,
You are,
Like
but it was definitely a close. It was definitely a mid time frame close back within.
I love that Friday close level that you have the CME gap. I think that's a good magnet. I do. I like it.
Right in here,
Yeah.
right around 89.3.
You know,
Yeah, it's about the only thing I see, man. But like, it's so it just. Again, I'm gonna say that I would actually prefer to just close the CME and keep going, because even highlighting this off of the 2-hour, you closed, you came back up for the point of control. Once you did that, you actually came back for a second time and tapped right at that range low. There's really nothing in here to latch onto. Maybe 89,348, which would definitely be a fill, and that would be okay. I can definitely see 89,350 as a possible rejection. Okay, I can definitely see 89.50 as a possible rejection here. You have your deviation, no backtest right in here. If this continues to just come up and fill the CMA, no matter what, I'd probably be looking for longs once you break this 30-minute high. If you break this 30-minute high. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. I'm done.
sound like dinner.
awesome.
5-minute OB on VWAP. Yeah, it's pretty much right there, dazed. Oh, locally. Let me see here. 5-minute OB. I don't see a 5-minute OB. I don't see it, man, but I do see a close. I do see that on the 2-minute we have an order block in here that would fill the 5-minute gap that's kind of sitting in here. It retests the VWAP / range low. Like there's, and not only that, guys, but locally, it's also the GP. Okay, locally it's also the GP. GP's falling in here as well. So there's a few things of confluence that are kind of sitting in there, man. It might go lower, man. It might go lower. I'm assuming now that I'm taking a closer look, you're talking about this down here. That would be the 786. Even if we do come down to that 5-minute order block and you tap into the 786, I want to see a reclaim. 88.4 is the key level here.
I am going to be, if I see any rejection here, I'm taking a short, but I need to see something give. By the way, there's no wick on the 15-minute candle that we just printed for the record. I mean, it's only 15, but I find the lower time frame wickless candles get recovered way faster than the high time frame ones. So I wouldn't be surprised if we smack down here because we're also at the top of the retail triangle here. The red line I just posted in the chat, that's what I'm looking at. I'm watching for shorts here. Dangerous because we could bust right through, by the way. So for the record, it's not like
yeah.
The more you tap on a range high, the more likely it is to actually go through. In Asia, sometimes we'll make it look like a bearish reaction, and then they'll send it through in slow motion, where you think you're safe, and then they literally go move it up and up and up on a slow grind. So USDT is leading right now. Okay, what's that mean? We took the high. Yeah, USDT just
that 5-minute order block is also legit. That's kind of sitting right around 88.3 ish, like Monty had pointed out.
That could be a bearish divergence.
I hear you. I hear you, White Phoenix. I do. I have a hard time thinking we reject from here. Like, what is it that we're actually rejecting from is the question. Now, Asia, this is why Asia gives me PTSD, because there's absolutely nothing here to reject from. I mean, it would be better to just swing fail these highs here, and I would accept that. But like, if Asia is going to do something stupid here and reject, that would be reason 999 on why I never usually bother with trading Asia.
Asia, I love you. Long time.
Yeah. 15-minute doesn't look bad on the oscillators. The 30-minute definitely doesn't look all that bad on the oscillators, guys. On the oscillators, the 30-minute actually looks pretty good. Okay. 45-minute doesn't look bad right now. All right. 1 hour time frame doesn't look horrible.
Telling you.
I mean, once you start getting down to these lower time frames, things look a little bit flat, but 5-minute doesn't look terribly bad either. Yeah, I mean, doesn't make sense to me to reject here. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It would make more sense to actually find a local rejection and just come back down and retest 88.4-ish. Or, as it was pointed out, something like this, guys, somewhere in here. Because you do have that 5-minute order block. You got a 2-minute order block sitting here and a 5-minute order block sitting here. It's got to happen in here, guys. It's got to happen in here. If it doesn't, then you're probably going to break structure. And if you break structure, then I'd be looking for shorts. All right, that's it for me. What does a daily look like on the oscillator? Daily's rounding out on the oscillator, guys. Daily's rounding out on the oscillator as we speak. $12-minute doesn't look too bad. 6 minutes bullish divs. I want higher.
I want lower than higher, but that's just because I'm not greedy.
Locally lower for a higher high? Like, are we
Yeah,
talking locally? Yeah, I can see that
I
too.
yeah, take out the current Asia. So Asia literally opened and moved it straight up. They didn't take out their initial low yet. And a lot of times they do, like, this is not an aggressive open and run. It could still become an open and run, but it's very rare to see that on Monday. I'll tell you that. Usually they do that on weekly opens, like they did didn't they do that last night? They opened and ran up. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they already had their open and run. You don't get two in a row ever. That's so rare. I don't even think I've ever seen Asia run price up or down 2 days in a row before. I could be wrong, but I don't remember
Well,
ever seeing it.
there's always the first time.
Yeah, I
I
guess
dude,
so.
honestly, I wouldn't matter. I wouldn't actually, it wouldn't actually bother me right now to have a
I don't
retracement
care either.
and
In the
see.
trades.
Um, you know what, dude? I don't even know why we weren't even looking at this, but that 5 minute order block, we have this sitting right here, that 15-minute order block.
I don't see your screen.
You had oh, one sec. Let me point this out real quick. You guys see this, right? You guys see this, right? Right here.
There's an OB right there. Yeah, I'm watching that. Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. That's right on your VWAP, or right below your, like a little bit of a VWAP fake out kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. A little VWAP fake out, come into the GP slash
Also the daily
actually 786 locally, fill this, tap into that 15-minute order block. That
build
would
a vector candle.
that would actually go really, really nice with back testing, like a close and hold on the 2 hour time frame here and back testing this.
So just for the record, you said 5 minutes or 15
Yeah,
minutes?
5 minute, you have an OB here right at VWAP.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
see
but look on the
this?
15.
And
Yeah,
on the
draw it on the
15
15.
minute, you also have it here.
I would draw the 15 there. Actually, it's a 20-minute
I would.
and a 30, I think, too, isn't it? Let me see. It is. I like it better on.
That's a 20. It's a 24-minute order block, but again, it still kind of falls like within that general vicinity of 88.4, guys. It still
So
falls
that's a
within the
vector.
doesn't have to be exact, but just look in here. Just
Yeah.
look in
So
here.
that big blue candle, Thor, is it's a high volume candle compared to relative candles nearby, a vector candle, and oftentimes you do actually get a pullback into them. So I would not be
Okay.
surprised if that's a good point. I like that one. I do like, and also this looks like a Model 1 distribution, locally speaking. So well, on the very very 1 minute time frame, it looks like we're trying to round off here with 3 taps to come back into it. So kind of looks like that to me. We'll see.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. I see this.
Yeah.
I see this. I see this. I also see no selling tail on the 1 minute. Look at this.
Yeah,
There's no wick on the stick whatsoever, dude. There's barely anything on the 2 minute. 3 minute, there's nothing there.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching to see if they get like a quick sell off, like take the high again, sell it off. I might take a little riskier of a scalp short if we break lower time frame structure down just to that zone to long it. You know, but I
You're
do like your
talking
idea.
here.
Yeah, like scalp a short down into the long is what I'm thinking. In case, just because who knows if they
Yeah.
hold it there, right? You don't know. It might be
That's
a deep short.
exactly. Who knows if you hold it? I mean, again, like if you're just going off of low time frame structure here, right? You have this.
Why can't I
Sorry,
set a
you
word?
have this.
Man,
So
Trading
once
View
you
had
start breaking this, it's done.
yeah. Have you been having issues with your Trading View lately or no?
No,
Bro, I'm telling you, they're
zero issues.
like I have the best plan you can pay for, and they're like, you can't go to this time frame, or you have too many indicators open, or I don't know, there's an issue. Like you suck. And I'm like,
Bro.
oh, okay, thanks, Trading View.
TradingView pissed me off.
Put in a ticket.
They changed their freaking UI on the phone. I was so mad.
Bro, they
Like,
changed. You know how there used to be an alert system where you could put like I think it was like something like crossing every bar or something like that. There was a condition you could put,
yeah,
like once only or every time or once every bar or something like that. Well, that setting's gone. They only have like literally every time or once only now. I'm like, huh? When did that change?
that is kind of weird.
Yeah, they're getting a little crazy, bro. I think they're getting a little trigger happy on the changes, and I don't like it. I don't like it. By the way,
Nah,
bro, I found out something
it's all
super
there.
cool with that indicator.
Those are all there.
Oh,
Crossing,
Thor, you
Did
should try
crossing,
this
all that.
anybody actually take along? I'm just curious. Did anybody actually take along? Because you did have a 30-minute or like order block sitting here. This is such a nice setup, man. I did point this out in the channel, and I'm just curious. Like we were sitting in here when I mentioned everything. You had a 30-minute order block. This is your 30-minute close. That's your hold. You tapped right into that order block. Away you went. I want to say that actually happened while you were talking, White Phoenix. That
Oh,
actually
really?
happened while you were talking. Yeah, it actually happened while you were talking. And
God,
since I
there's
know
a
there's not many people that will actually draw the ranges from the candle bodies, I'm willing to bet nobody actually took that as a long.
well, that's the one that I said. If I had seen it, go to the 1 minute and show me where it's at in the 1 minute, right quick. I don't know where that's at. I'll tell you right now if I would have taken that. Yes, I would have taken that because
Right here.
it was a very shallow DV. Oh, that I would have longed right down there on the 1 minute internal flip,
You would have
88.3.
longed here.
Yeah, somewhere's in there. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
would have covered that recent low,
Yep.
but I wasn't paying attention. I think I was still getting in the house then. Was I even on the stream then?
Yeah, you were on the stream, man. I was watching this happen as you were talking.
Oh, well, I didn't see it.
Um, I
See, my thing
suppose
is,
even if you're going off of the 1 minute time frame, like you again, you haven't broken any structure. Let's see what was going down at like 88.2. Yeah, GP, man. It's for the GP losers
all
out
you had to
there.
do was go with the 1 minute internal flip there. Like there was literally 1 minute internal structure that gave you the answer, or just long the 2 minute
Yep,
flip if you didn't trust the one, and it was
right
easy.
here.
Yeah, just
Yep.
stop loss. I would have my stop to break even on that already. Like there's no reason why you wouldn't. Like
Yeah. Yep. We're pushing
but
higher, man. This makes a lot more sense to push higher right now. It does. Even if we're kind of being left behind right now because we didn't jump in here or here or here. Um, this does leave it wide open for some point to come back here and see if we actually get a bounce from these levels or this.
watching for a short actually still, but I might not. We'll see.
Did we take the high?
Yes, we
We
just
still
did.
haven't taken the high. No,
Oh, we
we
missed.
did.
No, we missed. You're right.
We
But they're
missed
getting
it
it.
by
There's
like
a wick now
dollars.
though. There's a wick
Yeah.
now though. If we fill that wick, I'm going in.
Now you got a
Or,
selling tail.
yeah. Or
You got a
structure break.
selling tail, but you know what? Like here's what you got going on, guys. Man, that is so close, dude. Those are semi-equal, and you never actually came up and grabbed any sort of
How many
liquidity here.
times do they
So I'm
do
going
that?
to say those
Bro, they do
semi-equal.
it all the time. They do it all the time. They might
I
leave.
know, dude. I know. That's all they've been doing lately is putting in semi-equal lows and semi-equal highs. And it's like every time you see them, you know you're coming back for them, man. You know you're coming back for them. Look at this crap. They did the same thing down here, dude. Where was it? Let me close this up real quick. This is just the last one that I actually noticed. Did I get rid of it? Did I get rid of it? Yeah, I think I got rid of it. Let me get rid of this.
I'm trying it again right now. We'll see if
Anyhow, point being is like the semi-equals are all over the place lately. I totally agree with you. The semi-equals are all over the place lately.
Yeah.
Guys, this is another good reason. This is, if you remember, this is the old local chart, right? You guys are still playing within this overall range. You guys are still playing within the Christmas holiday range, okay? You're still playing here. And one thing that you did not do after you've had this deviation on the 6-hour time frame, couldn't close and hold, you didn't really come up to like 90K and actually backtest 90K. There's actually quite a few things here, and they really show up on the 30-minute time frame once you start looking at this. This is a range that White Phoenix was actually pointing out. All right. You tried to close and hold within, but when you broke down, you never actually back tested 90.5. You never came up to 90K. These levels correlate with what we just went over on the just like the local time frames. These ranges are being pulled from old time frames, and they still matter, man. They still matter. Like we were talking about this for the longest time. All right. That's your 4-hour range low. That's your Christmas holiday range low. And right in there, guys, is where we were talking about like 85.7 to like 85.5. Just to see if we actually close this up and see a bounce from this range low. Granted, we came into 86, but we already knew that. I actually posted that in the channel. I posted that the macro range actually looks pretty decent too. Look at that. Let me pull up the historicals. So on the historical, like dating back, this is on the 1-hour time frame. You produced this range in here. That was their first, like right here. And you can see on the 2-hour time frame, it's a 1-hour range, but on the 2-hour time frame, look what happened here, guys. You obviously came down to 84.4, but when you came back up, you just smashed right through. You smashed right through this 2-hour range, and you left this wide open. So 85.7 to 86.4 was actually this 2-hour range that was sitting back in here. This range is what caused this right here. That's what gave us some inefficiencies here. And look what happens. You come right back for it. Not only that, but like that was pretty cool. You had a deviation, and then the next 6-hour candle actually retested 86.4. Again, we're pushing right back up into this range. And on the historicals, I see no reason why we can't come up to 90.3. 90.3 is technically your range high. Is that your 2-day range high? It is. It's your look, this is your 2-day range. Your 2-day range dating back to March. Look at this. What's to say if we don't come back up to like 90.3-ish, right? And find some rejection here to head lower. Maybe we don't even head that much lower. Maybe we head to like 85.7 and just come for this low and polish off what we see on the 2-hour time frame.
I think we just swept the high. Yeah, we did.
But yeah, like 90.3, guys. Fill the CME, wipe out weekend shorts, man. Retest 2-day range high, 90.3, 90.6. What's that 90.6? Yeah, there's some things to fix here, guys. There's definitely some things to fix here. Right in here. And if that doesn't go, well then White Phoenix is right. We'll talk about other things.
I would say keep an eye on, because we swept the high right now. What I was talking about earlier, possible retest of this node at 88.5 all the way up to 88.6. Could get a little something in there. I know you guys want lower, but freaking don't.
This actually might be the setup, guys, where you actually have a what appears to be a swing fail of the high here, the local high, right?
Let's see.
We know that there's nothing in between here and here. So if this is your swing fail of the local high, this might be the move where you actually just have a slight swing fail here, retest this, and then start pushing up.
The only thing I don't like is how USDT dominance is still like pumping up. I'm going to wait for both the break structure before I try a trade because I've been burned on that before. And ETH didn't take out its high yet, so I don't know.
Check this out on the 50-minute, White Phoenix. What do you see here on the 50-minute? There's so many reasons sitting right here at 88.4-ish. So many reasons. sitting
well,
right at 88.4ish.
I just can't. I don't want to reaction trade the SFP. Like to each their own. I'm just not doing it myself because when I try them, I get smoked. I can't do SFPs of like that. Not with no volume SFP. I don't like those ones. Like the slow motion ones. I suck at the slow motion ones. They always
Here's
burn
another
me.
thing too. You swing failed the low. You've swing failed the high right now. Like, where are we going, dude? Where are
Yeah,
we
it's like,
going?
it actually might be the pullback here. If we back test up again, I might take a short. We'll see. Yeah, this
Yeah,
might be the
I'm
back.
kind of thinking that they actually just took the local high to possibly come back down and
Looks like it.
retest the 88.4. If that's the case, if you're going to jump in on a short prematurely, let's just go off a 5-minute structure here. Yeah, I mean, you got this going on right now. You still have this. 3-minute, same thing. Still have this. This is your lower high in here. Are we going off of just a local break here? Are we going off of a local break here, White Phoenix? Or are we going off of a local break here? Because that would be dependent. If you have a local break and you're looking for
I don't
some
think you
type
want
of
to.
retest,
I
then
don't
we
know
could
if
actually look at it from this perspective.
Yeah, I think I missed a short. I think that was it. But I'm not
Maybe
entering here
not.
yet.
Maybe not. I'm trying to go off of like what you're going off of here, but
Yeah,
this
something
is
like that.
your, so do something like this or something like
Mhm.
this, where you come right back to here, which would probably be the point of control. Close
Yeah.
enough. It's within the vicinity. You would have to close outside of here and then see something like this.
Yeah. I don't like trading this volume, bro. This is like dead.
Yeah, I don't bother, man. I don't bother. But it's cool to see Asia run it up for a change instead of always dogging on us. So,
Yeah, I don't know,
and
man.
you know what?
Slow
I
grinds.
know what you're gonna say, but I'm sure that you'll pretty much agree. Like typically once Asia finds a trend, they tend to keep with the trend, man. It's like they always tend to keep with the trend.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you say this is almost like this was pretty much keeping with the trend?
I I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's going to get to. I think there's a very slim chance that we're not going to take out that liquidity at some point, but I don't know if it's going to be like tonight. I know we're so close. I know it looks so tempting, right? But I see. I don't know, man. We'll have to see. I do
I
like
don't
your
think
idea
they.
though. Block back test is my favorite idea so far. I'd rather just wait for the long than gamble on the short personally, but I might take it if I see that structure test. But let's remember, like we might only just come back and just fix that 15-minute candle or 30-minute candle. You see that bullish candle right below the bearish, right next to your bearish one right now, the last 30-minute candle, how it has no wick on it? No. Right there, yeah. To the right of it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. We might even
Yeah.
just go that low. So that's not worth it. Like if that's all we're gonna get, I cannot take a short of my size there. Like it's just not gonna like
That's the only reason why I was asking, because I mean, you're talking like 0.3%.
yeah, it's
Before
not
you
big.
have to be concerned.
Yeah, I know. I can't be playing like 30-second stuff on low volume. It doesn't work for me. So just because of like I'm not sure, I have to like unless I severely limit my entry size, I can't get into a trade like that, bro. Like it just doesn't work. So, but we are breaking down a little bit nicer than I thought right now. If we back test and reject, I might try it.
The
But
hourly is a fill here too. The
I'm not doing
hourly
a
is a
full
fill right
1%.
here.
Though. We'll see.
Let's see where that GP is at one more time.
ETH's trying to break down right now. USDT is trying to break down right now, but it's not quite back under the New York high. It's testing it, back testing it to the dollar right now. USDT dominance, which is interesting. I was hoping they'd at least back test it with the short, but I don't know if they're going to.
there's a good chance.
You have the 8-8, you have the GP, or you have the 8-8.
Yeah,
They correlate right now after seeing a swing fill of that local high.
we do
They
look.
might just send it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if we lose this, we could be heading back down to 88 again. Like
It just looks like a
Yeah.
model one distribution.
Freaking. But
Yeah.
we haven't really
That looks
lost
better.
what I want to lose in order to completely say we're going back down to 88. So I don't know. Might be nice. Might be
I don't know
nice.
either.
I don't think anybody knows. I don't even think the market makers know yet.
If anything, man, you still have like 3 hours on that 6-hour candle, dude. And if you don't close above 88.4, then yeah, I'd be looking for shorts too. I'm just not so much worried about trying to catch a short and catch a knife here, because I would actually just much rather see what happens for New York Open and see if I can get in here. I think that's, for me, that's a better play.
Nice.
That would be a 5-minute structural shift. This is what you have locally. You obviously have a swing fill, but taking out this low would be huge. On the lower time frames, you're going to be talking about things like this. But this is not a pivot low. These are not pivot lows. This is it right here. This is your structure. You could come all the way back here and find a bounce before ripping. And if you don't, then you're going to break 5-minute structure. You break 5-minute structure, then you should be looking for something like this. A couple different options. Anyhow, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. Nothing to add, really. I'm just kind of watching to see what they're doing here.
I'm going to leave this up and then I'm going to throw it in a folder.
Yeah, could be Rennie. Actually, that does look like a bearish PO3, bro. It does look like a bearish PO3, like really well, actually. Like it has all the criteria in the world for one.
Well, you took out Monday's high.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's that. You did take out Monday's high.
Monday's high was taken literally like the same technical day in Eastern Standard Time. That's usually a good indication when they take it that early in the week that you'll see Monday's low the same week. So I would not be surprised if that played out, bro. I would not be. If we lose Thor's 15-minute OB, I think we're coming there. Oh, sorry. Wait now. What's the target on that? I can't see your numbers, so I don't know like what you're showing there as the target. I have to know the target. I can't.
What are you talking about? 88.4?
In the chat. No, look in the chat. Rennie posted a PO3. Like it looks good actually. It looks very good, but I don't know what the target is. Well, that's USDT. Oh, okay, wait. No. Let me see. So what would that translate to in Bitcoin then? That would basically put us down at like fuck all the way down to. That would put us all the way down to like 80.
Possible.
86K, 87K, 86.9, if that were to play out, yeah. Which is actually bearish. It's not bullish at all, yeah. Yeah, bro, I don't know why I didn't short this. I should have just reaction traded that thing. I don't know what I was thinking there, but I don't know if we're going to get a back test right away. Hopefully we do. Hopefully they don't just dump it.
Doesn't matter what chart I actually look at, man. I mean, the whole point is I'd be watching for 88.4 right now. It's really the only thing you need to know. On the daily, you do have this fair value gap, but again, you never even came up to the point of control on the daily. Like you still have this in here to fill and you still could come up. But yeah, if you start to lose like 88.4 and you don't find something to go pretty much right around 88.4-ish, then 85.7. If maybe it does come back down to 87.3. What do we have at 87.3? 87.3 to 87.4 is that 5-minute order block that we continually talk about, guys. We continually talk about.
We just bounced off the VWAP so far. Let's see if we get a little bit of a back test here. And they might just hold view up, right? I've seen that before too, where they just hold view up and that's it. But
Yep. Yeah. I mean, look how many times they tried to close below VWAP.
don't
1, 2,
it's
3.
slow
I
motion.
mean, for like straight up an hour.
I really don't like slow motion moves like this because they get faked out way more often than the fast ones.
30 minutes rolling over here. We'll see what happens, man. But I find this to be a lot more acceptable than leaving semi-equal highs behind or coming up shallow, because there was nothing up here as far as supply was concerned. It made more sense to actually locally swing fill this. What's kind of interesting is this. This is your 30 minute here. So we have this going on. See if we can take a different perspective, a slightly different perspective here. Instead of taking that whole 4-hour range, we'll just take this. What's the range low? 88.3, 88.250, so 88.3. What's your high? 88.9. I would say this, if I was pulling this little 30-minute range in here and I saw this, the range high has been mitigated. Now you had, like, it's kind of clear as day that it makes even more sense on why we should have came up and at least swing filled this local high here. You never really came up to the range high. Matter of fact, it looks like you just actually tapped into the value area. So there's your tap into the value area. There's your tap on range high. If this bounces now, it's going to blow through that. It's going to start blowing through that for sure. And then you're going to come for these highs, and you're probably just going to work on this. $15-minute too, 30 and 15-minute, both the same. All right, dude. That's pretty much it for me. I got to do New York Open in the morning. I suppose like I'll just wake up in the morning and kind of see where we're at. Scenarios are pretty easy though. Lose local structure. I think you might be in for some shorts.
Yeah.
You've really done nothing, man. I mean, on the 15-minute, you've done absolutely nothing. Like you got this going on. You haven't taken this high and you haven't taken this low, and everything in between has just been internal. Everything in between has just been internal. The only thing you can really go off of is if this local structure carries on. I mean, that was your swing fill. So you got this going on. Still internal. All right, I'm off. That's it for me. I'm not
All
going to
right,
sit
guys.
here and watch paint dry.
I'm done as well. This is not really my kind of trading hours, sir. I'm probably gonna call it quits for the night unless I see that. I'll have the alert to 87.4 like we talked about. And if I don't see anything there, like if we break structure down, I might enter a short. Well, we already did. We're trying to, but like I need something to actually enter on. I'm not going like $400 stop loss here. I'm not doing that. So I'm waiting kind of to see if we get structure. If not, whatever. I'll just wait till tomorrow and trade tomorrow because I don't really care for today that much. So, all right, you guys have a great evening. So any final words, Mr. Spartan? Is that what the kids call you, Mr. Spartan?
Nah, man, freaking, they call me. I can't tell you, but yeah, no, I don't got nothing, man. Just chilling.
All right.
You know,
See you guys.
adios,
Peace
hasta
out.
luego. Hey guys, just make sure that everybody knows to sign up for the